Okay, time for the next one. After I adjust the camera just a smidge, just a little bit leany. There we go. Yeah, it's about right. This is of the grakaw mecha, or mech. What do you want to call it? This is used by a faction called Cabal. So let me just get you the lore real quick. Grakaws are a type of bipedal upgun mechs that are more identifiable by its squeaky war horn than its ability to hold itself together. So, if you've followed this channel or even go back in the history of my builds that I've made videos for, I'm pretty sure they're still up. Um, there was mechs for this faction called the Cabal. They were always supposed to look like they were made from various junk metal and stuff like that. I've taken that design language and I've kind of upped the ante a little bit. Um, so yeah, these are their junk mechs. Think 40k orc, and you wouldn't be far off when it comes to the junk metal aesthetic. But let's get into the height comparisons, because that's the next thing before I get my thoughts out. Let's see. Going from a little green canister in the back, that's about the highest thing on the build so far. It's a few notches shy of 6 inches. Going from the body's length, it's a few centimeters shy of 6 inches long. And its width is, we'll go by the feet. I'll get them in a pose that's more neutral. Going from the longest piece to the largest piece, a little bit over 4 inches wide, and that's the longest width. Okay. So basically, these things are supposed to be giant walkers covered in guns. There's a rocket launcher here, a rocket launcher here, a multi-gun machine gun in our anti-armor cannon mixed in there, a squeaky war horn, stuff, the engine, more stuff, a little robot arm. These things aren't supposed to be consistent. Every single one of them is made with junk metal, so they'll all look different. This one is of an individual machine master, and again, they all look different. The only thing that is consistent with them is the fact that it has a lot of guns. It's bipedal mech, so any way you want the bipedalness to look, and it only needs one driver. That is it, only one. That's what makes it a grakaw. And this one's, again, just a walking heap of garbage that's been turned. It's the idea of turning it's the idea of one man's trash and another man's treasure. Well, in this case, it's one society's trash is another chaos idiot's, I guess you'd say, war machine. That's the best way I could put it without sounding disrespectful. Wait, how would that be disrespectful? Whatever. Anyways, and that's just the kind of core gist with these guys. Generally, I'm actually very happy I did this. The whole browns, crimsons, and red mixed in, it gives off a very good vibe. I do want to try, if I do it again, mix more red in its color schemes, so that way it looks less like it's dominated by the browns. I mean, this blue is just because the little robot arm that was scrapped from another mech. I might reuse it. I haven't decided yet. I probably should translate more of the red in it, because I'm pretty sure I have these in red. I don't know. I'm probably going to go fish for certain parts and so on in certain colors, so that I can give that junk metal look a little bit better next time. I don't want to have to re-review this thing, and I really don't want to have to retake the pictures and repost on our station. I already got that done. So this one will just be the outlier. But yeah, let's get a 360 so you can get a good look at the entire thing before I forget. I don't have it written on my list, so yeah, I'm going to forget about it. But yeah, a giant walker with big guns on it. That's basically what it is. The functions for are, well, first you have this little doodad saw blade arm thing. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. This little arm saw blade thing, which is useful like just cutting people up and stuff like that. It doesn't make sense, just a little thing of metal. The gun can go up and down, but it's limited by the fact of the pilot, because he's literally piloting the entire thing where the gun is. which does not look ergonomically fun. All parts of the legs are on ball joints, but this one's under a friction one to keep it staying better. So I have to hold it a different way. But other than that, it has a pretty good range of motion for the hip. The knee also has a pretty good amount of motion. It can even go inwards and slightly outwards because of the way it's designed. I usually did it like this, where it's kind of like had one bum leg, if you will, or broken leg. And it's walking around with it being broken in some regards. And then a basic limited articulation for the ankle. Now, seeing as this is the last time I'm going to have this build together, I'm actually taking it apart after this, I'm going to do a breakdown. First off, I'll take off the gun so you can kind of see where the attachment is. It's these 3 studs because this is right here. Again, I don't foresee people need to build this version because they could just make their own version and call it the same thing. It is technically the same thing, but give you some ideas for brainstorming, if you will. Nothing super accurately breaking down. I'll move you out of the way. Let's see. Pop this off intentionally this time. If you want to do a little saw blade. All these pieces are more or less interchangeable. There could be a mech that's using this in the future if you want, or a friggin' buggy or anything. It doesn't matter. I'm actually going to take the legs off so I can deal with them later, as they are symmetrically different. Be a look at everything that's on it. This is one of those dual peg pieces. Is a brick, 2 plates and another brick. Specifically, these ones, the same ones that are used in the ankles. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's used in the ankle. Kind of had it buried a little bit. And yeah. The engine has bushings in between this piece and the piece holding all this engine on. So that was not fun to put together, but once it's put together, it becomes tolerable. There's nothing super special about these. Don't want to go too in-depth because, again, I advise making your own version and going your own direction because you might make a better version. The legs. That's coming off. Yeah, I just put anything from little triangular doodads are just different. You could see both legs and you could see how different they are. How much they're just... They deviate from each other so much. I do want to reuse these leg designs when I'm all done at some point and some other parts of the build, because there's a faction universe that actually uses what these vehicles used to be. So all these grakaws, they're actually based off of a vehicle that did exist, but due to the fact their society nuking itself into Armageddon, the only ones that have them unscrap metaled are a faction that, well, is considered an enemy to them. But yeah, get an idea of where everything goes. That's about it. Now to upload this and take this fucker apart. Yay. Moving on.